Hi everyone, my name is Heather Morgan, and I am honored to be here today to share my story and my connection to SSM. I could talk to you all for hours to get in every single little detail, but since I only have a few minutes, I will try to hit on the most important parts. Shortly after marrying my husband in 2008, we began trying for a family. After 3 years, multiple failed attempts at fertility treatments, 2 miscarriages, we were finally blessed with the help of fertility treatments with our son Gavin. After he was delivered by emergency C-section, my doctors in Springfield, Missouri told me I would need help both conceiving and delivering any future children. When Gavin was just 6 months old, I wasn't feeling too great, and I had this feeling that I needed to get a pregnancy test. I still can't remember if I was excited or terrified when those 2 lines appeared. Maybe I was both. We couldn't wait to find out if we were having a boy or a girl, so we went to the local imaging center in Springfield to find out. My entire family came, and we were elated to learn we were having a little princess. It was about the same time I was offered the chance to transfer my position within my company to the location in St. Louis, where my husband and I are both from. We soon had our 20-week ultrasound in my doctor's office. I vividly remember this day. It was the last day of 2012. It was really early, about 7 a.m. Sun still wasn't out. It was snowing and the roads weren't great. I was meeting my husband at the doctor's office, and I remember being annoyed that he was running late. Since we already knew the gender of our baby, we weren't expecting this appointment to take very long. We were wrong. I remember the tech that day. He wasn't very talkative. I kept thinking to myself, man, this guy needs to lighten up. He told us he was going to pick up the pictures he had printed, but it ended up taking forever. After several minutes, he didn't return, but the maternal fetal medicine doctor did. At that moment, I began to cry. I knew immediately something was wrong. Lying there on that table that day, I heard the words Spina Bifida for the first time in my life. We had a meeting with a specialist who told us there were several places we could seek treatment at all around the country, but that she recommended we seek treatment at the St. Louis Fetal Care Institute at Cardinal Glennon. She had no idea we were already in the midst of a move back to St. Louis. We moved back to St. Louis the first week of January 2013, and my first appointment at FCI was that same week. That day is kind of a blur to me, but I remember meeting Dr. Mike Vlassos and Dr. Samir Al-Baba. Dr. Vlassos would be my new high-risk doctor. We immediately loved this man. His smile, his calm demeanor, and the use of the word babe all made us feel more comfortable. He would tell us that our babe had a great prognosis and not to worry. The fact that he wasn't worried made us not worry. He would sit with us for however long we needed to ask every single question we could possibly think of. He stayed late the night I went into labor because he knew I wasn't comfortable with any other doctor delivering my Evie Grace. When she was born, he was elated at how great her back looked and her very strong lungs. He came over to me, held my hand, smiled, and said, "She's perfect." The other person we met that first visit was Dr. Al-Baba. That's Evie's neurosurgeon. I can barely tell you his name without crying. This man is our hero. What we first loved about him is his way of answering our questions without sugarcoating them. At a time when my emotions and hormones were going crazy, it was very important for me to hear realistic answers and not just ones he thought I wanted to hear. This man is incredibly intelligent, and his time is so valuable, yet he would wait patiently for me to form a logical question. We met with Dr. Al-Baba several times before Evie's delivery. After Evie was born at St. Mary's here in St. Louis, she was transferred by ambulance to Cardinal Glennon. At 14 hours old, Dr. Albaba would meet Evie in the OR for the first time to close her spine and her back with the help of a plastic surgeon. After a 10-day NICU stay, we would begin our journey with Evie at home. When Evie was about 4 or 5 weeks old, we noticed her head was getting larger. We called Dr. Albaba, and he requested we get to him as quickly and safely as we could. It was June 11th, 2013. On June 12th, he would meet Evie in the OR for the second time, this time to place a shunt in her brain. Now, for kiddos with spina bifida, shunt is almost a curse word. While it helps and allows her to survive, they also bring plenty of worry and potential problems. This was a huge decision for us. Dr. Albaba felt that Evie needed the shunt, but left it up to us to see if we wanted to wait a little bit longer. We were very thankful for the opportunity to have a say in her treatment, and that Dr. Albaba trusted us enough to even ask our opinion. Evie had an uneventful next few months, but then we, along with Evie's physical therapist, started noticing some things that concerned us. We went to the ER at Glennon because we knew she just wasn't right. As soon as Dr. Albaba learned that we were in the ER, he came down, still in his scrubs. He walked into our room and said to the nurse, "I don't mean to step on any toes here, but I love this little girl, and I need to make sure you're getting what I need." While in the ER that day, we formed a plan with Dr. Albaba, and we all decided to get second opinions on her tests. After the results were confirmed, there was only one option left. It was another surgery called a Chiari decompression. The morning of Evie's surgery, my husband and I were waiting in pre-op when out of the corner of our eye, we saw Dr. Albaba coming towards us with his coat still on. He walked straight to Evie and to us, looked up at us and said, "I prayed for Evie last night. This is what we're supposed to be doing. This is going to help her, I just know it." Now, pardon my tears, but this neurosurgeon that sees how many patients a day was at home praying for my child, we were blown away. May 19th, 2014, Evie had just turned 1, and she met her beloved neurosurgeon in the OR for the third time in her short little life. To say that the surgery was a success is a complete understatement. Evie is a different child now. She passed her swallow study, no longer requires oxygen, and is walking with the help of orthotics in her walker. We regularly send pictures and videos to Dr. Albaba. We like to keep him updated on Evie's progress. This man has taken such time to get to know Evie and our family and not just see her for the diagnosis that's on paper. It was key to our family and Evie's success to build a relationship with these doctors before Evie was even here. The time that was spent with us, the questions that were answered, and the reassurance that everything was going to be okay is what allowed us, as parents, to begin trusting these doctors that would change Evie's life for the better. If on that day in 2012 I could have seen our lives today, I would have never been scared. If on that day in 2012 I would have known the doctors that would be placed in our path, I would have never worried. Remember, although you're only one person in this world, you could mean the world to one person. Evie's doctors are our heroes, and they mean the world to us. I would like to now share a glimpse of my Evie, our vibrant, intelligent, sassy diva princess, who is fearfully and wonderfully made. Thank you.